Yo, yo, yo. What's good? What's good? It's Stormybman, and I am back. Welcoming you to the post-fight show with Stormybman for this Saturday, March 16th, 2024. This is the post-fight show for William Zepeda versus Hughes. The fight just wrapped up on Dazn. These two men mixed it up on the strip of Vegas, and the fight ends after 4 rounds. Hughes retired on the stool. A precarious evening of bouts on Dazn. I mean, we saw something this evening, the co-main event. Floyd Schofield taking on, how do you say his name? Esturi Suero, in a fight that saw it end with a DQ. Man, boxing needs a shot in the arm again. From where will it come? I have no idea. You remember that old song, I Need a Hero? That's about where we are in the sport of boxing. Because we have talent out there, but the way the sport is being angled and marketed There are too many lopsided fights scheduled, being fed to the masses, to the publics, to give the false impression that certain fighters are indestructible. Elemental forces that will rampage through the division. But then when you take a closer look, when you look behind the scenes, behind the curtains, you find that they turn down challenges against other fighters who are being marketed similarly to themselves. So we have that word I mentioned earlier, precarious situation, where it could appear someone's fierce. It can appear that they may be a hot ticket. But if you're that confident, if you're that capable in your ability, then stiff challenges be damned. Step to the plate. Which is not happening. It's not happening. We're seeing this across the entire sport, throughout most of the divisions, and the divisions that are loaded with talent, such as this division that was featured on this evening, the lightweight division. Why are these top guys not fighting one another? Why? And it seems like every network has a top guy. Zepeda is a Golden Boy featured fighter. Devin Haney, when he was in the lightweight division, was the only free agent. But you have other names such as Vasyl Lomachenko, who's with ESPN. Frank Martin, I believe, is a PBC fighter. Gervonta Davis is a Floyd Mayweather / Leonard Ellerbe project of little renown. Shakur Stevenson, who's not yet a lightweight featured fighter, is with ESPN. So with these fighters scattered all over the place in different promotional groups, how are they supposed to come together and face one another when the promoters don't want to risk them? Think about it. And there are not many who are like Devin Haney, who are willing to forsake the allegiance to promotional groups for the sake of the competitive opportunity to prove the worthiness of being the best. Yeah. We're going to take a quick moment and go into the chat, see who we got in the building for this show. Healer, the teacher, my brother, is out there early saying salute. Universal Truth is in the building saying salute sensei with those channel emojis. You know how much Stormy likes to see those emojis. Jeff the producer, ain't seen you in a minute, is out there with the Pai Mei emoji. Healer says that William Zepeda is dope. Or maybe on. Yeah. Jeff the producer saluting again and says Zepeda got that Earl Spence pressure. A lot busier than Spence. A lot busier. Universal says Hughes pulled a Ugas, stopped his feet, and got his tail beat. Mind of Mansa Musa is in the building saying salute to the wise one, the sensei. Salute to you, Mind of Mansa Musa. Jimmy Bernard is back with us saying what's good, sensei. Salute to the chat. Rojai, ain't seen you in a minute, says Schofield needs some advice from Sean Porter fighting like that. Whoa, wait till I get to say what I got to say about him. Healer says everyone knew he was going to get his butt beat. Yeah. Healer says Maxie Hughes is a G for taking this fight. James Galbraith says salute Stormy and what's up to the chat. Universal says Schofield let me know he can be had mentally. He took all that anger into the ring and he wasn't really impressive to me tonight. I'm going to talk about it in a minute. Antonio MMA, my number one pupil, is out there saying salute sensei. Salute to you, brother. Shakers and Dice is in the building saying salute to Stormy and peace to the chat. Right back at you, bro. My brother Drew Titan LLC is in the building saying yes, sir. Shawalaya, ain't seen you in a minute, says salute Stormy B man and chat with those channel emojis. Blessings all. Yeah, please hit that like button. Antonio says when they was reminded the Schofield fight during the rounds, you could see how open he was, swinging wide open like that. Yeah. Since the commentary is in demand for discussing Floyd Schofield, let's talk about it. Floyd Schofield, with his Sean Porter-like style, is a wild, spry young man that is going to get taught a lesson when he steps up to competition. That Suero guy tonight is a mental case. I don't know what or when was the last time that I saw one fighter inflict so many fouls and everything. I was appalled, but Floyd doesn't get off the hook with this because he was fouling too. And that tremendously bad cut over his right eye was his fault. Leaping off the canvas into his opponent and crashing skull to skull like that. What in the world do you think was going to happen? Ridiculous. He looked wild. He looked amateurish. Yes, he's strong, as a young man in his early 20s should be. But he's greener than the golf course lawn. Yeah. I did not like his performance at all. As my pupil, Antonio MMA, said that, listen, he's as wide open as a country field. There were a couple of shots that Suero threw that hurt him. But Suero was on a different planet mentally and wasn't coached or even coerced by his corner to be patient, to allow himself to time Schofield and run him into a shot, because I could see the power on Suero's punches. If he could have just nailed him a shot on the chin, you would have seen something different happen. But see, this is why one of the things that I say oftentimes, the coaching, the training by fighters in their camps, you find out exactly how poor they truly are. Suero was 2 years older than Schofield, and being from the Dominican Republic, I don't know what was his game plan. But even the announcers have said they don't want to see the guy again in the ring. He's a walking foul ready to happen. He's worse than Andrew Galata. He literally picked Schofield up once and tried to throw him down to the canvas. He tried it a couple of more times actually, but the ref jumped in and stopped it, because the referee actually attempted to save the fight. He literally tried to save the fight. I think it's Raul Caiz Jr. But it was a horrible performance by both men. And Schofield really needs to reassess things. Based on that fight, and I've seen him fight before tonight, but based on that fight, I can't grade him out on his performance outside of a F+. He fought with anger and over-dramatic emotion. I don't think he was listening to his corner at all. And that's a recipe to get you beat every time. Every time. And there are veteran fighters who would love to take you to school when you are an emotional wreck out there. You could literally see him in between rounds, scowling and looking over across the ring at Suero as if they were getting ready to fight in the alley. I don't care for fighters like this, because in the ring is where you're supposed to be able to manage and control your emotions and display a sense of putting your skill sets together in order to execute them physically. And if he can't do that here, you're going to see him in trouble in the streets. Mark my words. I've seen this many times over. And his dad standing over there like he's a proud papa or something. I don't know what you're teaching this young man. But it's foolishness as far as Stormybman is concerned. He couldn't even execute a jab He was too busy leaping off of his feet to try to land a power shot on his opponent. The fight was scheduled for 10 rounds. But you put the cart before the horse. Sheer foolishness. Shower says, I have never been on the Schofield train. You're very wise, Shower, and that's not the first time that I've heard you say a comment against a fighter in a correct assessment of a fighter. So once again, I give you high marks for knowing what you're seeing. See, we're living in an age now where even constructive criticism is not accepted. You're a hater to be able to say that somebody isn't what they make them out to be. But do I not lay out explanations, check-marked boxes as to why I make the assessments that I make? Even though they may not be relatable to some of the listeners. I don't care about that. I've had more than a little bit of experience of being close. And I'm telling you, when the character is poor, there is a limit on how far these young ones will go. Guaranteed. This is why these so-called coaches, these dads, need to work on building the character of these young men along with teaching them the sport of boxing coming up from young ages. You don't forsake that important lesson and then jump straight into the physical activity. Because when the physical isn't good enough, what do you have to draw upon if the psychological, the mental, hasn't been cultivated? Conflict resolution is something that takes place in the boxing ring as well. Solving problems. Antonio says, I definitely think Keyshawn has his way with Kid Austin. They're on the same level. A lot of these guys are going to find out if they get in the ring with one another, they're going to find out that they're not who they thought they were. Antonio says, every foul he committed, he act like it was boxing's fault for the rules being that way. Talking about Suero, he says, man, that dude was on something other than H2O. He says he was real life chicken brains in there. What a moron. That's all I could say. Huh? Let's use our words wisely. Moron. Yeah. I think chickens can be a little bit smarter than being morons, but then again, you know, they're chickens. Main Event Mark is out there. He says, Schofield lunging like a mofo. He says, lack self-control. Facts, Sensei. Yeah. Universal Truth says facts. Main Event Mark says he's not going to get away with that stuff against a veteran. And his daddy ain't going to be able to help him. Shower with the prayer hands saying, Sensei, No Smoke TV in the building. What's good with you? Yeah. At least when Sean Porter fought in that style, it was a controlled aggression. He wasn't 100% as vulnerable as we saw Schofield being, but Sean was very much opened up as well. But it took certain fights that he had to teach him lessons. And I'm of the belief that the lessons that Schofield is going to learn may involve losses before he gets going good. You see how proudly he was displaying that Intercontinental belt on his shoulder? He's smelling himself and hasn't even gotten in the shower. Salute to my brother Steph Brown out there in that super chat. He says, be well, Stormy B, man. I'm listening, sir. Hit the like button. Chat family, welcome to the Wisdom Dome. Appreciate you, Steph, and your support. He's got those channel emojis going as well. Learn is in the building. What's good with you, Learn? Says salute, Stormy. Jeff, the producer's out there. He says he need to work with Bo Mac and B&B. Hey, man. He can learn something over there. I guarantee you Bo Mac will have him stop leaping his feet off the floor. I guarantee you that. There's an old saying from veteran trainers about fighters leaping off the floor. When he leaps, he sleeps. Yeah. Veteran trainers know what I mean when I say that. Learn says Zepeda impressed. He impressed his followers. He didn't impress me. He's another fighter that had the opportunity to face Devin Haney and a couple of other fighters whose names I'm not going to mention at this time, but he turned those fights down. Now, it could be Oscar who turned the fights down because that's his promoter. But remember the NBF rule from Top Rank. I think Oscar has his own form of that as well. It's one of the reasons why you haven't seen some of his so-called top fighters fight others. And another reason why you saw Rashidi Ellis sitting on the shelf for a very long time with Golden Boy. Like I alluded to a moment ago, not alluded to, I stated, these promoters are angling their fighters in position to get title shots at specific titles, but never having to step into any fire to obtain it. We just saw a couple of weeks ago, my man, Raymond Ford, won it the correct way. He got his out of the mud. And I've said it then and I still say it today. I will praise fighters who have gone the Devin Haney route, the Raymond Ford route, for achieving by walking through the fire. Now that doesn't mean I want to see them do that every single fight, but you need fights that will define where you are and where you're going to go. And there are benchmarks because it also assists with the fighters learning a little bit more about themselves. You need tests sometime. And a test doesn't always have to end up with a loss. But what it will help you do is to take what you've dealt with back to the gym and break down, study where your weaknesses were through that experience, and formulate a plan to strengthen yourself in those areas so that you may come back stronger, better, and wiser as a result of the experience. Shower says, apparently he's on a leaping streak. He's too undisciplined for me, and I never want to see Suero again. I agree 1000% on the Suero situation, and you know you're correct on this leaping by Schofield. I told you, the old saying is, when they leap, they sleep. Healer says, yep, of course, Oscar has a NBF list. He will match up his Latino fighters with other black bums to act like he does. I pay attention. Hello. Say it again, Healer. Say it again, brother. He said Zepeda would be smoke by Haney. Yep. Jeff, the producer, says that Ford fight is going in my classic fight playlist. It should. And I keep saying it. You know all these content creators out here who profess to be the best, who profess to know so much about boxing, who profess that they were on the scene before anybody was born, and all of this other stuff. How many of them do you hear talking about the Raymond Ford Otabek fight? How many? How many? They all keep talking about Ryan Garcia, who doesn't hold a candle to any of these fighters that we're talking about. I've put you guys on to fighters who are worthy to be looked upon and talked about consistently, which is why my stats read like they do. My typical 30 likes and over 100 views. But y'all watching me, but you don't want to support me. I say it all the time. Test the knowledge. Test the fact that what I'm talking about can be pitted up against personal feelings. Maxie Hughes is a hell of a fighter, because though he didn't have the firepower, he tried to set in there and counter and fight William Zepeda like a professional. I'm not as sold on Zepeda as some people, such as those Dazn broadcasters, tried to sell him as. Let's get that, what they call it, OSDT. Let's get that involved in William Zepeda fights. OSDT, Olympic style drug testing. Yeah, I said it. I said it. You see, when you watch as much boxing as I've watched, you see certain things and it's like, okay, that's cool and all, but something's not natural. Yeah. You see, I go back to a little 168-pound fighter by the name of Joe Calzaghe, who wouldn't come out of the UK until Roy Jones Jr. and Bernard Hopkins got so old that he felt he could take them and still get away with some things that he got away with overseas for a number of years. You saw that too, Shower, huh? Yeah. I'm telling you, sometimes it's right in front of your face. But notice how I talked about Joe Calzaghe. I'm gonna tell you something to be wise here, people. These fighters go away to training camps, right? They train anywhere between 6 to 12 weeks for fights. When you're at the level where these men fight, you eat good food, you're living pretty clean, you're working out every day, you're not eating the unhealthy stuff, you're not supposed to be drinking and things of that nature. Why are you coming into a fight full of acne? Your system is supposed to be cleansed. 8 to 10 weeks of prep, right? Yeah. If I didn't eat any greasy foods, which I love, if I didn't eat greasy foods and drink a soda here and there and had some bacon and other meats like steak and, fried bologna sandwiches because I like them. Huh? My skin too would be smooth as a baby's bottom. Huh? But Stormy, he may take some of those vices and throw them to the side from time to time for a little bit. But when I do indulge, what happens is there's a pimple or two that will come. Yeah. And that's just from food. Huh? We're not talking about illegal substances. So these guys are not eating like Stormy B, man. Huh? So why is it that you can come out of a training camp where you're supposed to have the best of drink, the best of eat, exercising every day, taking your vitamins, huh? Protein shakes and all. Some of them even have, dare I say it, dietitians and nutritionists. Oh my goodness. So where is the acne coming from? At the age of 27, 28, he's well past puberty, right? Just a question. You know, you ain't got to answer me. But you should try to find an answer. Just find one for yourself. Because I'll sleep easy at night. But I want you to think about it. Now we're well over 100 and only 31 likes. So that lets you know, there's over 60 something folks watching Stormy B, man, that don't like what I'm saying. Huh? Maybe they got, NBCC, huh? No black content creators, huh? Yeah! NBCC. But they tuned in to me. Yeah. You see? I'm not new to this, but I'm definitely true to this. Jimmy Bernard says, true, Sensei. Healer says, that was my first thought. Immediately said, clean. His speed, power, gas tank, Mexican, clean. It's legal. Yeah, and where was Suleiman? Dog says it's not because Maxie Hughes hit Zepeda with a combination with left hooks and rights. He didn't even move. That would make anyone back off, but nope, not Zepeda. And let's not forget, whatever's coursing through the veins, through training camp and everything, there's things that could be added to the drink in between rounds too. You guys remember Panama Lewis and Aaron Pryor? Give me that bottle, the one that I mixed. And Aaron Pryor came out there like an Energizer bunny, didn't he? And the great Arguello was looking at him like, man, I done hit this sucker with my best rights, my best lefts. It's best that I sit on this canvas. Hen Dog says, oh man, I wasn't even paying attention to that. Wow. Keep your eyes open, Hen Dog. The sensei is always dropping some jewels out there. Why you think these fools be watching like that, huh? Healer says, not trying to be elitist or racist, but not a lot of Mexican fighters have such a dialed in physique. You realize that, huh? Even Julio Cesar Chavez, who was one of the greats, he was toned but never ripped. See, the thing about a fighter like William Zepeda, they're going to market him a certain kind of way. That process has already begun before tonight, which is why he won't get in the ring against certain other fighters, because that challenges where they're trying to go with him. But the illusion is to keep you believing that he's a damn good fighter. I said in my pre-fight breakdown video, he's heavy-handed, but he's not a one-punch knockout fighter. So think about it like this. If he was a knockout devastating fighter like what those announcers were saying, shouldn't Maxie Hughes have tasted the canvas at least once? He got hit with some solid shots. Stoppages are not the same as KOs, people. Stop believing the hype. Stop. I love it though. I love boxing. And think about it like this, people. If Maxie Hughes can hit Zepeda clean, what do you think that somebody like Tank Davis would do to him if he lands? Do you think Tank would like hurt him real bad? I can see that. Boxing fan times 4 says Zepeda has heavy hands, but he's more of an accumulation puncher with relentless pressure and crazy stamina. Boxing fans times 4, did you see my pre-fight video breakdown of this fight? And no one in the sport of boxing has crazy stamina. If they do, they're getting help. They're getting help. Because being punched in the face, being punched in the body, there's really no way to prepare yourself for that. These guys train, and they train for the rigors of the sport. But there's always a peak period and a fall off period. And for some fighters, it happens at different times. However, when fighters are getting it back, when it's being done back to them, it's the mental, the psychological that will assist with them being able to persevere. In that area tonight, Zepeda was not challenged. But there are fighters who can challenge him in that regard. You see that comment by Hendog? He says even David Benavidez gets tired and he walks forward all the time. Absolutely. This is why I tell you guys, and I say the things that I say the way that I say it. There's no such thing as a Superman in real life. We all have a peak, a point, a line that you don't cross, can't cross, won't cross, shouldn't cross. Yeah. Yep. That being said, let's hear from my brother, the focus ball. Yeah.
Get ready to take your striking game to the next level with the focus ball. Dramatically improved footwork, timing, head movement, hand-eye coordination, reflex, and overall fight IQ. It's lightweight and extremely portable, so you can train every time, everywhere. When you don't have a coach to do mitt work, get a focus ball. When you don't have a heavy bag to hit, get a focus ball. When you don't have a sparring partner, get yourself a focus ball. And when you just want to have fun punching and kicking, get a focus ball. When you train with the focus ball, you train your eyes and your brain to read punches so that you can hit and not get hit, making this very simple device a must-have for all combat sports athletes and enthusiasts alike. So if you want to take your striking game to the next level, don't wait. Get the focus ball now.
Man, y'all better get you some of this merchandise, get you some of this focus ball workout equipment, man. You see, when we put together what we do for you guys, it's to help enrich your lives and your livelihoods. It's not just, just some scheme, you know what I'm saying? This is to help, assist, Stormy's merchandise, listen, the ball caps, the drinking mugs, I mean, come on, the tees, listen, we got it all covered, man. We got it covered. I sit here tonight broadcasting with a Stormy hoodie and a tee on because it's a little chilly in this spot where I'm sitting, but at the same time, listen, we do what we can, enriching. But I appreciate everybody that came out tonight, man. I won't hold you long. You know what I mean? But I kind of spoke on what needed to be spoken on. You don't have to beat a dead horse or drill something into the ground. Jimmy Bernard says, love the jacket, Stormy. You ain't loving it that much. You ain't bought one, you know. Or did you buy one, Jimmy Bernard? If you bought one, you didn't tell me. And if you didn't buy one, why not? But yeah, man, we've come to the end of another post-fight show. Listen, Zepeda will be found out as soon as he gets in there with someone that can compete with him. There are plenty of names, but we'll see what Oscar does to take the risk. Just remember, MBF is still active out there. Still active. And I appreciate everybody that showed the love and support this evening. Shower, your boxing knowledge is growing by leaps and bounds. I'm observing your comments, and let me tell you, keep your head on, sister, like you're doing, because you're on the right path. Much further along than some of these people out here who are content creators. And the fact that you're unashamed to speak it, that's even better. A+, I say. You know what I mean? That's what it is. That's what it means to be out here and do that. Hendog, the fearless one, says, I'm always watching boxing. That's the only thing I watch. I'm watching Earl versus Mikey, and Mikey could have gotten Earl out of there, but he didn't have the tools. He definitely could have fought better than he did. And don't believe that foolishness about Earl wanting to show everybody he could box. He should have been trying to take Mikey out of there. That was a ball that he definitely dropped on that night. Salute to the brother Universal Truth out there with that super chat, man. Thank you so much, Universal. We appreciate you, bro. We appreciate you. And just know, as a reminder, for some who can't hit the super chat, if you wanted to hit the Cash App, it scrolls at the bottom of the screen. The Cash App is $StormyBman66. That's the Cash App, as a reminder. I'm not shaking anybody down. I'm just kind of reminding you that that's an option for those who don't like to hit the Cash App, because I understand that, you know, YouTube does take a percentage and all of that, but if you want to get something to Stormy directly, the Cash App or PayPal is a option for you. But to show that real love and support, get you some merchandise, something that you can have as a badge of honor, a mug, a ball cap, a tee, a hoodie, a jacket, huh? Yeah. That's what it's all about. So with that being said, you guys, don't forget, the call-in show is tomorrow morning, 10:30 a.m. Central Time. Stormy will be back. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. And we will catch you guys on the next one.
you think of Negroes?
As good as any white man.